Well, here it is, the Monday before Christmas, and it's 2 o'clock, and you know what that means? It's time for Coffee Break with Pastor Jim. Es el lunes antes de Navidad y son las 2 de la tarde, y ustedes saben lo que esto implica. Es hora para otro cafecito con el Pastor Jim. Ahora, ustedes que son latinoamericanos me van a tener que perdonar porque hoy voy a hablar en inglés porque voy a leer un artículo acerca de Navidad en inglés, pero voy a poner el sitio ahí abajo para que puedan disfrutar el artículo los que leen inglés. I'm going to be talking almost exclusively in English today because I'm going to be reading an article that had an impact on me a few days ago, and I want to share that with you in English. Christmas is a time of mixed emotions. I know people that are going through grief. Maybe that's you, going through very hard and difficult times in their family with their jobs. And so you want to be happy and merry and bright, but sometimes it's awfully tough. But at Christmas, sometimes it also comes with this longing that we have, a sense of wistfulness, a sense of wanting something more. And a lot of that we find with people that look for satisfaction in physical things or earthly things, and they never really find that satisfaction. No matter what you ask for Christmas, the gift is never going to match up to your expectations. No matter what expectations you have for your Christmas celebration, it's never going to fill that hole in your heart that you're going to find later. And that's what Christians face sometimes, especially at Christmas. We have so many high expectations. I read an article the other day by Andrew Klavan. He's a writer for thedailywire.com. And this is from December the 19th. This is yesterday he published it. And this was a really powerful article. I want to share that with you today. It's called Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Andrew Klavan. My favorite Christmas song, written in anything like the modern era, after songs like Silent Night, Hark the Herald Angels Sing and Adeste Fidelis, is Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. It was first introduced by Judy Garland in the 1944 hit Meet Me in St. Louis. At first, Garland and her soon-to-be husband, director Vicente Minnelli, turned the song down because it was too depressing. Lyricist Hugh Martin made the necessary changes, but the song remains a sorrowful one. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Next year, all our troubles will be miles away. Until then, we'll have to muddle through somehow. It was appropriate to the time. The world was at war. Many faithful friends who are dear to us were themselves miles away, many in mortal danger. After the war, when Frank Sinatra recorded the best version of the song, the lyrics were reworked again. The muddle through line was ditched. The name of my album is A Jolly Christmas, Sinatra told Martin. Do you think you would jolly up that line for me a little bit? But still, the song retains its wistfulness. That's what I like so much about it. It has the feeling of a joy expected, but out of reach. That's, of course, appropriate to this year as it was to the year it was written. This awful year when so many have lost their jobs, lost their hope, and lost their lives, while those of us who survive are so angry and divided, we can barely tolerate our neighbor, let alone love him. But more than that, a wistful sense of a joy expected, but out of reach, is really at the heart of every Christmas season, even in good times. Joy, C.S. Lewis once wrote, is distinct not only from pleasure in general, but even from aesthetic pleasure. It must have the stab, the pang, the inconsolable longing. The reason for this is that every consolation we seek in life, sex, love, beauty, money, pleasure, power, is only a poor representative of something beyond itself. Those who dedicate their lives to pursuing the symbolic rather than the thing the symbol represents invariably end up disappointed or worse. In a 1990 column in the Village Voice, often quoted by preacher Tim Keller, Cynthia Heimel wrote of the misery of so many celebrities she had known in their youth, saying they wanted fame, they worked, they pushed, and the morning after each of them became famous, they wanted to take an overdose because that giant thing they were striving for, that fame thing that was going to make everything okay, that was going to make their lives bearable, that was going to provide them with personal fulfillment and happiness, had happened, and they were still them. that thing we want, that thing the riches of the world can only represent, that thing that seems so near and yet so maddeningly out of reach, is the love the God who made us in his image, the only real North Star of our life's journey, the only true guidepost to becoming the person we were made to be. On the first Christmas, that longed for something broke the barrier and came into our earthly plane. When we celebrate that day, we boldly declare our faith in the reality of that event and the truth of its meaning. God is truly here for us. We are not yearning in vain. Maybe in this year of anger and pain, when we all have to muddle through somehow, it would be good to remember that the people we disagree with most, the people we hate most, the people we so want to throttle most are desperately yearning too, suffering too, and striving for a thing they can't quite reach. And many of them may not have our hope, our Christmas faith. Jesus did not tell us to love our enemies, or our neighbors for that matter, because he thought it would make them better people or the world a better place. He told us to do it so that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes the sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. To love like that is to taste in this vale of tears, the veil beyond, the thing we long for, because that is the reality that this reality can only half express. God loves you, the left and the right, the black and the white, the straight-laced and the freaky, his image, everyone. So have yourself a merry little Christmas, because that faraway joy is more real than all our troubles, more real than the world. Have yourself a merry little Christmas.